Hello everyone, welcome back to my Python UI application series. In previous video I showed you how to create a really simple Python application which is used for adding items to your shopping list. But as I mentioned before, this is not as useful as it could be because it's not able to save data. So if we check again our application, okay, I added a placeholder here, if you can see. So let's add something like apple. So we have apple and let's say milk and add it. And if we close our application and run it again, you can see that items are not saved. So there are many ways how we can make our application to memorize data permanently. Like creating a database. If you don't know what database is, I will be covering that in later episodes. And then another way is to write data into file and put that file along with application. And when we have file, there is many options how you can save your data in file. You can just write data into simple txt file format, or you can pick more structured file format like XML or JSON. If you don't know what those are, you can Google it and get some basic information. But basically we will be using JSON, which is just like Python's dictionary. If you don't know what dictionary is in Python, go to Python documentation and you will be familiar with it very soon. So before we get to there to save our elements to file, I would like to modify our application a bit. So in one of my first episodes I showed you how to add a placeholder in Python code. There is actually a better way or more easy way. You can just click on your line edit, and here in line edit property editor you can go down below to this green area, and here you have placeholder text and you can just type it right here. I think it's actually much better, so you don't have everything in code, because when you have bigger projects it could be really unreadable very soon. So first thing we will do is to apply our new item to our list with pressing enter. I told you this before, to do it on your own. If you don't know how to do it, you can follow along. But if you do it and it works, you can skip this part. So go to your Python code, this one, and create a signal. So we will start with dlg dot, and then we have to check where we want to check our return or enter pressed. So this is our line edit, right? So type line edit underscore item, if I'm correct, yeah, and then dot return pressed, yeah, like this, and dot connect, almost the same as for clicked signal. And then you can call the same method or function as you call it at the click of the button. So copy and paste, and let's try if it works. Run it with F5 and try with adding some item with enter, and it works really great. So next thing we can do is to show a message box. I didn't show that before, and it's really important for debugging your program or set a warning in your application. So if you don't know what message box is, you will know when I start the program with this code. So let's go to our code. Oops, right here. And now we get to this point when we have to import more libraries. So type from pyqt5 and then capital Q dot qt widgets, and then import and star. Star stands for all. So from pyqt5.qt widgets import all. With this star symbol you will be familiar in a lot of programming languages since they're using it, and it's used in database languages like SQL. You will see that in my future videos. But now let's focus on our today video and add a message box. So there is a direct way how to do it, and this is by just by typing the message box code and line. Actually, this is like q message box dot information, and then in here for first argument is none, and then we have our title of message box, so let's say title, and here we have the actual message. Okay, like this. Save it and run it. So when I run this application, message box should appear, so run it F5, and here we have our message box. If you didn't know before, this is message box. Okay, I think you already knew how useful it could be. If you don't know already, you will be familiar very soon. So this is actually not really nice way how to write your message box. So when you have a pretty big project or program or application, whatever, you will need a lot of those message boxes, and retyping this code could be really annoying. So I prefer to doing a function for this. So let's type def and then show message like this, and here we will add arguments for title and for message like this, and instead of title in here we will just type from arguments, and the same for message. Don't forget for indent. And now we can call our message. Okay, so show message, and here we will add title, let's say warning, and then some message. Okay, let's try and run it. Okay, great, it's working. Okay, I misspelled warning. Anyway, so where should we use it? For example, when you have list widget and you're adding items, you could show warning when the user press enter on click on the button when text is empty. So we already disable it here, and if it's not empty, our list widget added an item. But if it is empty, we can add a message box like this. We can type else statement and then type show message, or I can just copy it or cut it and paste it right here in else statement, and I'll correct this warning. And in message we can say you have to type at least one element like this. You can type whatever you want. So let's try if it works. So now I can add anything and it shouldn't appear. Okay, let's say some whoops, and I already triggered the message box. And again, if I just focus in my line edit and type enter, it appears again. So that's that. Another thing I want to show you is right here in our show message function. We have two arguments for title and for message. And often while debugging the code, you forgot to insert arguments, and this code would throw an error. Let's try it. If I just type show message and run this file, I have error because there are missing 2 required positional arguments. So we can set default values for arguments like this. Let's say test for title and also test for message. And if I run it now, yes, the message box appears with test data. So I can see that this video is pretty long already, and I don't want to make it any longer with including JSON saving data and loading data. So this will be shown in next video, so my video won't be too long. And by the way, if you have any ideas or requests, you can comment down below, and I will make some of videos which will explain those in my future episodes. So until then, I'll see you in my next video.